Hi guys, welcome to another Gold Lap guide. This time we take on Maggiore East Reverse with the Honda Civic Type R touring car in the latest online lap time challenge. I've currently got a gold time, so I'll show you what I did to achieve that. Now make sure you stick around to the end, I'm sure you'll pick up a few helpful tips. So starting the lap, straight into turn 1 here, first braking point, just where this line goes across the circuit from left to right, or right to left on a bit of a diagonal, roughly where this arrow is right here. Perfect braking point I find. I'm going to brake down to second gear. So approaching the corner, down to second gear, hard on the brakes, trail braking in, and just as we get to the apex, I'm going to flick it to third and aggressively get back on the throttle again. There we go, back on the throttle, hard as you can. Use all the circuit on the right hand side for the best exit possible. Now this next section's pretty quick, and you can take a few of these corners flat out. So flat out for this first corner, and we're flat out for this next bit. Next braking point, roughly where this arrow is here, you can see where the old track bends to the left there. There's a bit of tarmac opens up on the left hand side. Somewhere around about that point, I'm going to brake down to fifth gear. I'm going to brake about 40, 50, 60% maybe. That's all, it's just a touch of the brakes. Down to fifth gear. I'm going to try and get the car to slide into this corner a little bit and take plenty of curb on the way in. You'll see it here as we go in here. Take plenty of curb on the way in. Smash the throttle again, back off the throttle, plenty of that curb that side, make sure you're cutting this as much as you can. Down to fourth gear, slow it down a little bit more, take plenty of curb here as well. Back on the throttle nice and aggressively, use all the circuit on the left hand side, but don't touch the wall because you'll invalidate your time. I'll show you from behind the car as well, show how much curb I'm actually taking here, and look how much you can take. As long as you keep two tyres on the red and white curbing, you should be absolutely fine. So you see we go through this section. Same again on this section, got the two right hand tyres on the red and white curb, and I could probably cut a bit more there if I wanted to, but I sort of get away with this one. Okay, down to fourth gear, left hand tyres on that bit, that's pretty good. Probably cut a little bit more again, but you know, for me that's pretty good. And then use all the circuit on the right hand side. Again, I could use a little bit more here, but so you don't want to invalidate your lap. I'll come into the next corner, the next braking point, the flag marker on the left hand side, or the ending of the curbing on the left hand side. Those are pretty good ones I like to use. I'm going to brake down to third gear. Now to get the best exit possible, you need to use all the circuit on the right hand side. Now the circuit bends, so you might have to straighten it out just a little bit. Be careful when you apply the brakes and turning at the same time, very easy to spin the car. But I go in here, roughly around the middle of the track, aim for that curb, not too much steering, down to third gear, smash it to fourth gear, get back on the throttle nice and early as possibly can. Use all the circuit on the right hand side there for the best exit possible. And as always guys, if you get any value out of this at all, then please do hit the like button and consider subscribing for more content like this. Thank you very much. Next braking point, there's a barrier or a marker on the right hand side. It's the last marker. You either use that or somewhere before the curb starts to thicken up. This red and white curb starts to thicken up on the right hand side. Somewhere in this region, I'm going to brake down to third gear. So hard on the brakes, down to third gear. Take plenty of curb on the way in here. It doesn't matter if you overshoot this one a little bit, you've got a short straight after the next one, so you're not too bad. Get on the throttle as early as you can, up to fourth gear. Try and take as much curb on this one as you can as well. Keep two tyres on the red and white curbing. I'll show you this from behind the car as well. Again, keep two tyres on the red and white curbing. You get away with that without invalidating your lap. There's a bit of extra track on the left hand side you can use as well. Coming towards the last little bit, the last braking points, somewhere roughly around this where this truck is, or just after the curbing end on the left hand side, I'm going to brake down to second gear. So I'm hard on the brakes in as straight a line as possible, down to second gear. I'm going to try and take plenty of curb on this inside, try and keep to the left a little bit, don't go too much into the middle of the circuit, try and keep left to open up this next bit where the straight is. Flick to third, back across to the right, take plenty of curb there, back on the throttle as early as you possibly can, use all the circuit on the left hand side but don't hit the barrier because you'll invalidate your lap. Stay to the left for the shortest run to the line, and we're going to cross the line in 1 minute 28.231, which is good enough for 1.2% and at time of recording 54th in the world. Now you have to make sure that you're not making the 5 deadly sins of sim racing. If you want to know what they are, then click this video right here. Thank you very much for watching guys, take care, have a good week, I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.